All right. Okay. So let's first discuss about what is the agenda number one, and what all I'm going to cover part of this course, plus and how much time it's going to take to complete this course as well there. So may I know someone already working on AWS? Please use the chat
Yes,
window to.
Vikas here.
Yeah, hi Vikas.
Yes, we are working. I am working on that.
You're working on that, right? So you're working on development side or
No, I'm a DevOps guy.
okay,
My role will be basically on AWS and
AWS and
Verizon Cloud.
okay, 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 fine. And may I know how many of you already working on Lambda, AWS Lambda here? Okay, okay, no problems. So first let me explain the course agenda. So what exactly this course will give you? Fine, right. So this in this course, right, I'm going to cover a couple of services like one is AWS Lambda. We will see what exactly AWS Lambda is. Plus, I'm also going to cover little bit of Python. So why? Because right, in case of AWS Lambda, it supports four different languages like Java, C Sharp, Python, and Node.js. And Python is widely used as scripting language for implementing Lambda functions there. So main idea of this course would be covering these two for you. And let's start with introduction to this Lambda. First, let's understand what exactly Lambda is and how it's going to help part of our job roles and where we are going to use this Python. So once we get the background idea about both, right? So I'll be starting with Python, and it won't be a deep dive into Python. It will be the basic introduction which helps us to work on this area. So I'm not promising you guys to cover the deep concepts of this Python, but whatever is required to implement Lambda functions, those things I'll be covering. So is that fine with you? Okay. So first of all, let's start with what is this AWS Lambda? Why or where exactly we use this Lambda? What are the use cases? So most of you say you guys are not working on Lambda. First let me introduce what is this Lambda first of all. And I believe everybody know some concepts in AWS. That's really important to understand this course. That's a prerequisite for this course. So without having knowledge on AWS, I mean, this course won't be helpful for you guys. Right. See, AWS Lambda, right? It is a service. It is a service in Amazon Web Services using which we can execute our code without caring about servers. We can run our code without caring about the servers. See, for example, if you want to run your application, so generally we need virtual machines for that, like EC2 instances in cloud. So once we get EC2 instance, we generally install some runtime environments, maybe Python, Java, .NET. So on top of that, we execute our code. So that is one way of computing. And even this AWS Lambda, right? It comes under compute, but we're going to execute the code without thinking about the service. And there are a lot of benefits when we go and use this particular service. The benefits are like this. So this Lambda is also called as serverless architecture. So it doesn't mean we are running code without servers. It really means we are running code on servers, but we're not really managing those servers. So that's the beauty, that's the advantage of using AWS Lambda. And recent days, right, it has become very popular, and most of the people started using this service like anything. And it plays a key role in many automation on cloud. The benefits are like this. Number one, no servers to manage. So we're not going to provision EC2 instances. We're not going to provision any compute resources there without caring about all the stuff, right? We're going to focus mainly on the code and submit this code and execute the code without caring about these servers there. That's one benefit. Number two, see, Lambda executes on latest generation hardwares. So we always see a better performance when we execute our code via Lambda. That's the second benefit. So third benefit, right? It auto scales. So no need to worry about scalability of the application, otherwise scalability of your function. So based on number of requests coming to this function, right? So AWS will take care of spanning multiple threads, executing those functions parallelly for all the requests coming to this particular function. It auto scales. And the next benefit, we are going to pay for Lambda only when our code executes. We are not going to pay when our code is idle. So I can simply put like this. We do not pay for Lambda when our code is idle. This is one more advantage of using Lambda functions. Why? Because let's say you're running a website with help of Lambda. There are no customers visiting your website, then your code is not executing. When your code is not executing, ultimately we are not going to pay for that. It is cost effective way of computing. You guys can interrupt me if you have any queries, please. So if you guys are not asking any questions, probably I assume you guys are following, and I'm just going ahead with that. So these are the advantages, or otherwise these are the benefits of using Lambda. Now, what are the use cases? So where exactly the teams are using these Lambda functions? See, we can run Lambda in response to events. That is one use case. The events can be something like this. So let's say there is a banking application which is uploading some files to S3 bucket. For example, like this. There is a file uploaded to S3. So this can be an event. When a file is uploaded to S3, let's say there is a use case like this. We want to process the file and store data into some DynamoDB. This can be one use case. See, uploading a file to S3 is an event. Whenever there is a file uploaded to S3, we can trigger this Lambda automatically, and that Lambda has some code which takes that file, which does some processing, and it stores the data into DynamoDB. This is one use case. The second use case, for example, our application is managing some images. So whenever an image is uploaded to S3, I want to create thumbnails for those images automatically. So this must happen automatically. So we're not going to do all the stuff manually. So create thumbnails for images that is uploaded to S3. This can be one more use case. So in this case, right, again, uploading image to S3 is an event. Whenever image is uploaded to S3, we can trigger Lambda function. In Lambda function, we can have some Python code or any other code like Node.js, Java, C#, which takes that image, which creates thumbnails out of those images. And one more use case, whenever image is uploaded to S3, I want to resize the images. For example, let's say there is a media like newspaper, online newspapers. They deal with lots of images, right? So when an image is uploaded to S3, let's say I want to resize those images according to my different devices. Let's say I want to reduce the size for my iPhone, or reduce the size for my Android, or for my web browsers and so on. That automation can be done with help of Lambda again. So resize images uploaded to S3. And next one, let's say there is a video, a training video, and when we upload this training video to S3, I want to transcode, I want to generate different formats of those videos. Even more like this. So let's say I want to take EBS snapshots. I hope all of you understand what is EBS, which stands for Elastic Block Store. So I want to automate a process like this. I want to take backup of my EBS volumes automatically every Wednesday, for example. So those things can be automated using Lambda. We can schedule in CloudWatch. So for that schedule, we can link up with these targets like Lambda. Whenever that schedule occurs, right, it executes a Lambda. So what Lambda does, it creates snapshots for all the volumes which is attached with these EC2 instances. So automation of EBS snapshots. So So likewise, right, we have lots of use cases where we can use this Lambda for automating operational tasks in cloud. So these are some use cases. Along with this, we also can use Lambda for serverless architecture. I'll do one thing. I'll just go to the website of Amazon, and let me show some images there. So it can be used for data processing. That's what I gave all the examples here. A photo is taken, it is uploaded to S3. That event can trigger your Lambda, which has some code and which can generate some images according to your different devices there. And this example talks about big data analytics. So where the big data analytics pull data from different sources and which goes through this Kinesis stream, and this data can be pulled by your Lambda, it can be processed, and it can be kept on your DynamoDB. It can be used for IoT backends. It can be used for mobile backends. For example, I hope all of you know RESTful APIs. So generally, application development teams, they develop RESTful APIs, and those RESTful APIs are consumed from different clients. The client can be a web browser, a mobile application, or any other client. Even the client can be other application. So before, right, for developing RESTful APIs, we used to do that with help of some applications, and we used to manage servers for them. But now there is an option called as API gateway. So using API gateway, right, we can create REST APIs. REST API is nothing but a URL which is behind HTTP methods like put, post, get, delete, patch, all the stuff. So for these REST APIs, we want to implement some logic, right? That logic can be part of your Lambda. So now we can completely develop the application without thinking about the servers by following serverless architecture here. See, API gateway, we're not going to manage any EC2 instances. Lambda, we're not going to manage any EC2 instances. Yes, I'm using DynamoDB. Again, I'm not going to manage any EC2 instances. So we are completely avoiding the management of IT resources there. So we are mainly focusing on the business requirements. We're mainly focusing on the customer values rather than spending time on managing the infrastructure. So I think going forward, right? Not going forward. Even today, I work with many people who follow this approach for implementing REST APIs. So they are no more showing interest to manage EC2 servers, and at some point, certain things are replaced completely with serverless architecture. See, in this case, why we are calling serverless? For API gateways, we are not going to manage servers. For Lambda, we are not going to manage servers. Let's say Lambda interacts with DynamoDB, we are not managing servers. So here, right, everything is completely managed by your cloud. Even web applications. Your static website can be in S3. When someone clicks links on your website, right, that can trigger a API gateway there. So that in turn can trigger Lambda. That in turn can do data access on your DynamoDB. So even the web application development can be done with help of Lambda in this place. See, Lambda is a kind of service which fits in different areas. So where developers use Lambda for this web application development, so where developers use this Lambda for mobile backends, where administrators and DevOps engineers use this Lambda for some operational automation. That's a key role played by Lambda in AWS today. So not only AWS, even Azure is providing similar service, even Google Cloud is providing similar services there. So these are the benefits, and this is the background about what exactly Lambda is. I think all of you got the idea what is Lambda and what are the use cases for Lambda there. So if you have any questions, let me know. Guys, do you have any questions? Yeah, Vicky, please go ahead. Okay, thank you for that. But I'm just expecting queries from your side. Is everything clear, or you guys have any queries? Yeah, you guys have any confusions?
Hari, is that all a runtime scenarios, Hari, using this Lambda thing?
Yeah,
Can
it's
we
running.
consider in that way?
Yes, yes, yes. See, Lambda works once your infrastructure is up and running.
Yeah.
See, I think most of you might be working on DevOps area, right?
Yes.
On AWS. There might be lots of use cases which needs to be automated with help of code. So that automation is done with help of Lambda.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I said ABS snapshots.
Yes.
We have the resources there. Our infrastructure is running. It's operating actually. So on top of it, we are doing some automation. I said when image is uploaded, I want to do something. When video is uploaded, I want to do something. I want to take some regular backups. So for example, uh, we have some servers in production. When those servers go down, I want to trigger an email with some details to my DevOps team or someone who is responsible for maintaining those servers. That kind of automation can be done in Lambda here. So most of the questions, most of the use cases, Lambda is the solution actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I'll do one
Thanks,
thing.
Hari.
Let's take one small use case. Let's implement a simple use case here. So once we understand the Lambda with one simple example, right? Then I'll go and talk about Python. So once we learn Python, again, I'm not going to take months to teach Python. So probably I'll be spending approximately 4 to 5 hours. But today I'll be closing the session by 10:30. So we will decide, like, if you guys are interested to go ahead with the course, right? I will get some information from you, and accordingly we will schedule the course and we'll complete it. Right, so no problems. Let's start with one use case. The use case is like this. So when EC2 instance stops, right, I want to send an email to my management. This is a requirement. This is what we're trying to automate. When EC2 instance stops, we want to send an email with instance ID to the respective team. So in this case, right, the event is EC2 instance stopped. So for this event, I want to link up a Lambda function, and that Lambda function should get the information about the instance, which is instance ID in our case, then send an email to the respective team. So that's the requirement. So for this particular use case, right, what are the services we are planning to use? For sending emails, all of you know SNS. We use simple notification service. That's clear? Right. So in our case, we also need some permissions. So what exactly this Lambda is going to do? So whenever there is an event saying EC to instance stop, right? So from that event, I want to get instance ID, and once we get instance ID, this Lambda should send an email by using this SNS topic. So in this scenario, Lambda should have permissions to access SNS. So if you guys know the basic AWS concept, right? If one service want to access other service, that service must have permissions. See, Lambda want to access SNS. Lambda must have permissions to access SNS. So where we go and manage permissions, generally it is identity and access management. These are the considerations we need to take for this example. Let's do one thing here. Let me sign into my console. I'll switch to Oregon. For this example, let's have one EC2 instance. Okay, there are lots of instances here. Let's filter based on the status. So this is the instance. Let's say whenever this instance stops, we want to send an email with its instance ID to the respective team. So we have EC2 instance here. That's fine. So next one, I need to create a Lambda function. So let us open a separate tab with Lambda. So while creating this Lambda, right, it will expect IAM role. So via IAM role, we are going to give permissions to this Lambda. So first, before creating Lambda function, let's go and set up this IAM role, which grants permissions to access SNS topic. And it also should get access to CloudWatch logs. Why? Because when your Lambda executes, it generates some logs. Those logs are stored in CloudWatch logs. So for that, Lambda should have permissions to SNS, plus Lambda also must have permissions to CloudWatch logs. So first, let us go and create permissions. Let's go to IAM. I need to create a policy first, then attach this policy to role, then use this role for Lambda, which grants access to a couple of services here. So go to policy, so create one. So now we have a new editor, visual editor, using which we can create policies easily without having any knowledge about JSON. So again, I'm not talking what is policy, what is a role here. So my understanding is all of you guys know what exactly IAM role and IAM policy is here, right? So which service? So I want to create a policy. At high level, policy is a JSON document which talks about permissions, right? To which service we want access, otherwise which services Lambda wants to access. Lambda wants to access SNS. Service is SNS. So what actions Lambda wants to perform? It wants to publish. See, Lambda wants to just publish some message on SNS that in turn sends the notifications to the subscribers. So resources, in sense, if I say SNS, SNS is a service. There might be lot of SNS topics. Those topics we call them as resources. To keep this example simple, I'm keeping it as all resources. Meaning, anybody with this policy, they can publish onto SNS. Which SNS is that? I'm saying all, meaning star. In the policy, if I say star, right, it represents any SNS topic. But in real time, we should not say any. We need to specifically point to that topic with help of that ARN. But to keep the example simple, right, I'm going with all resources there. So this is one permission. What's one more permission there? I want to add one more permission. The one more permission is for CloudWatch logs. Action, let me put all actions. Resources, let me put all resources. So we are adding couple of permissions to this particular policy. One is for SNS, one more is for CloudWatch logs. So review the policy, name it SNS logs, some meaningful name. So create this policy. Yeah, the policy is created. So what's next? Role, right? So I need to create a role, attach this policy, and I am going to give this role to the Lambda function. So go back to roles, create a role, and we need to decide why we are creating this role. So maybe all of you know what are the use cases for using a role. One use case is to grant access to other resource. The other use case is to provide cross account access. One more is for web identity. One more is like SAML federation. You can federate your corporate directories with AWS accounts. But in this case, right, I want this role for a AWS service. Which service is that? I want to give this role to my Lambda. Getting my point? See, I am creating a service role, and for which service I am creating a role? For Lambda. So next, permissions. In the permissions, go and search for the policy you just created. Select this, review, give a name again, create the role. So this role is created for us, right? So we're done with permissions. We already have one EC2 instance for our demo. And next one, I want to have one SNS topic using which we're going to send emails. Let's quickly go and create SNS topic. So topics. Okay, there are some topics already. Let me delete them. So just create a new one, give a name, Lambda demo. So I'm naming this one as Lambda demo, and display name. Display name works like this. Let me put it as prod server. See, when SNS sends an email in the inbox, right, the display name is going to be prod server. This is just a friendly name, that's all. So create this topic. So once topic is created, we need to add subscribers to this topic, right? Because when we put some message on this topic, all the subscribers will get the notification. So I need to add subscribers to this topic. This is going to be email. I'm putting my email ID here and create subscription. So if you open this topic, or if you open my email ID here, see, I got a notification from this SNS topic. So can you see the display name there? So I gave prod server as a display name while creating the topic. Same thing appears whenever a email notification comes from the topic. So whenever we add subscriptions, right, we need to confirm the subscription. Then only AWS can, or otherwise, then only SNS can send emails to you, otherwise not. This is mandatory. We need to subscribe, then only we get notifications. Yes, so we are subscribed, right? Okay, let's test this one. Let's test by publishing a dummy message. Publish to topic, subject, some dummy, welcome, and publish a message. If you go and check the email, see, can you see? There's an email which is coming to my mail ID. Otherwise, it will send an email for all the subscribers actually. I think you got idea about what is SNS and how to get notifications from SNS. So I'm doing this publish by manually here, but I want to do the same thing via Lambda. So even our SNS topic is ready, right? The design looks like this. So whenever EC2 instance is stopped, it triggers your Lambda. Lambda is going to publish message on this SNS topic. The subscribers get an email notification. So using SNS, not only email notifications, we also can send SMS, text notifications. So this is what we're trying to implement. So when EC2 stops, Lambda triggers. So we're going to put some code in this Lambda, which is going to publish a message onto the topic. This topic in turn, right, notifies the respective team or respective users there. So topic is ready. Permissions also we created. For demo we have one EC2. Now the left service is Lambda. Let's go ahead and create this Lambda function and complete this demo. So let's go to Lambda. See, it comes under compute. EC2 comes under compute. Lambda comes under compute again. So click this Lambda. So click create a function. So we have a couple of options to create a function. So one option, from scratch we can create a function. The other option, we can choose from a blueprints. So Amazon provides lots of templates So in certain use cases, right, templates might closely match with our requirements. In that case, rather than going from scratch, we can choose a template and from the template slightly modify the code and implement a use case there. For this demo, I'm going from scratch. Name it. Notify when prod server stops. Some meaningful name. Runtime, as I said earlier also, Lambda supports 4 different runtimes. One is C sharp, it supports 5. Early, the Go is recently introduced. Early it was supporting C sharp, Java, Node.js and Python. So now they also added Go language, which is a scripting language from Google. It supports 5 now. But our interest, right? Python. We want to implement this logic using Python. Okay, go ahead. See, this is where role comes into picture. For this function, we need to assign some role such that this function gets access to SNS topic, plus this function gets access to CloudWatch logs in order to publish the logs generated by the function. So I'm going with choose an existing role. I think this is the one we created. SNS logs. Is this a different one? Yeah, this is the one. SNS logs Lambda demo. And click create function. So this is your function dashboard. So if you see, this is a function name and it talks about the permissions. See, this function has permissions to CloudWatch logs, plus it has permissions for your SNS topic. The left hand side, right, this empty box, this talks about the triggers. So currently there is no trigger. First let's implement the logic, let's test the logic, later let's integrate this one with a trigger. So scroll down. So this is where you can go and implement the logic. So we are going to get this event, or this function is triggered when EC2 stops, right? Using Python code, I want to send an email notification here. So now I should introduce boto3. So anybody heard about boto3? Okay. So boto3 is a Python SDK for AWS. So in this case, I want to send email notification via Python. So boto3 is the module using which I can send email notifications to my uh, respective team. So let's see how to get that code from boto3 documents. So simply search for boto3 SNS. So this is the link. Open the link. So these are the classes here. We'll see more on this little later. So how to use this one? Import it. Get the client of SNS. Copy this also. We're importing boto3. From boto3, we're getting the client of SNS. Then these are the available methods. These are the available functions on this reference. So search for a method which tells publish. Can you see publish here? So this is the function we want to use. So when you say publish, let's not spend much time now. I'll come back to the point how to refer boto3 documentation, what is boto3 and all the stuff. But for now, right, on this client, I want to call publish. publish. So I want to publish to my topic, right? So there is a parameter which is topic ARN. So where to find topic ARN? I want to publish to which topic? You can get those things from SNS. So go back to SNS topic. So this is the ARN we should copy. So put it here. Let's minimize the screens. Okay, so this particular function, it's going to publish the message to this topic. That's number one. And get back to the documentation again. So I want to send some message, right? For sending a message, this is a parameter. I'll put in the second line, message equals. I'm just putting it as welcome to Lambda. This return statement is not really required in this case. This is the function. See, I'm importing boto3. From boto3, I'm getting reference to SNS topic, so SNS client. See, from the client, I'm trying to publish. So which topic to publish? I'm specifying the topic ARN, which is called as topic Amazon resource name. So onto this topic, right? I'm just publishing this particular message. This is a dummy message. Let's first execute this code. So once we execute the code, then let's come back to implement our logic. Yeah, let's minimize this. Let's save this. And I want to test this. See, before putting it in the automated process, right? I'm in the development stage. I want to test it without going through that lengthy process. So I want to test this particular function. If you want to test, right, it's going to call this function for you. It accepts two parameters. One is event, the other one is context. But anyways, in this particular example, we are not accessing event. We are also not accessing context. See, when I say test, it will ask you to configure the test event here. I'm just putting it as demo. See, anything you pass here, it doesn't matter now. Why? Because we are not using these values in the function. So just put some dummy event name, some dummy value like this, and create it. See, by passing this dummy event, go and say test. Oh, so there is an error. Can you see execution failed? Okay. Syntax error in module Lambda function. So let's first line number 5. Okay. So what is the problem? Maybe I didn't put comma here. That's the problem. So save it.
Comma there.
Yeah. Test it. Now it looks like succeeded. Definitely there should be email there. Yeah, see the email there. So my Lambda is able to publish the message to the topic in turn, right, sending that message to my email ID because I am subscribed for this topic. So but coming back to our logic, so when we want to execute this Lambda, first of all, we want to execute this Lambda when EC to instance stops. That's the requirement, right? So currently there is no trigger, so we need to add a trigger here. So in the same function, like when you choose your function like this, we'll get back to this screen. This is the function name. Right hand side, it's showing what are the services this function has permissions to. Left hand side, it says add triggers, but currently there is no trigger here. I want to add a trigger. Clear? So in this case, right, I should go and add a trigger with help of CloudWatch events. So click CloudWatch events. So when you choose this CloudWatch events, there is a page in the bottom. So create a new new rule. Rule name when EC2 stops in prod. So rule description also we can put same. Rule type, it is not a schedule. I don't want to do this in a schedule basis. I want to do this in the event actually. If some event occurs, I want to execute this one. I want to trigger this one. Event pattern. So when you say event pattern, now from this we need to select. So which is that? EC2, right? The event should come from EC2. Now again, once you select the service, which event is that? Any guess which event we should select here? It should be EC2 instance state change notification. So when my instance state changes to stopped, I want to send a notification. I want to trigger a Lambda. So I should go with second option here. So put again, click this details. So we can select a couple of things here. What is that state? What is that state? Stopped, right? So I want this event to be fired for EC2 when there is an instance state change. Which state is that? Whenever it enters into stop state, and even I want to specify which instance is that, or you can leave this instance. So this is triggered for any instance. If you want to trigger this event for a specific instance, then select this one, add instance IDs, copy those things from your EC2 dashboard. I hope you guys are following, right? See, if you want to link this event for a specific instance, then put the ID here. For example, you want this event notification for all instances, then unselect this point. Is that clear? So for this example, whenever any instance gets into stop state, this is going to be an event for that. So for this event, see now. So for this event, it triggers your it triggers your Lambda. And don't forget to save. It is saved. Shall we test this one now? If I stop my EC2, that is going to trigger a Lambda function. Lambda function is going to send an email to my topic. Let's try that. Actions, stop. So when its instance state becomes stopped, that's the event. For this event, we linked Lambda, and you know what is there in the Lambda. Still it is in stopping state. Let's filter this one. I don't want to, just to avoid confusions, I'm just filtering only this instance there. Yeah, Vicky, go ahead with your question. So what Lambda is reading? Lambda is not reading anything, right? So Lambda is triggered when this instance stops. It is not reading any data from anywhere.
But how it get to know that the instance has been stopped?
That is where we created a rule, right?
No, but in the rule will run every second, means every alternate minute or something like that, or it will read from the logs it has been stopped, then it will trigger an alert.
No, 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 no. How it works, right? Just a moment.
Yeah.
Hey, it didn't trigger that. Oh my God. Maybe I terminated it. I terminated it. Okay, okay, got it, got it. I'll do one thing. I'll try this on a different machine. Let's first start it. Hey, Vicky, like how it works is we created one trigger, right? We created trigger. For which service we created a trigger? For EC2. On EC2, what is a trigger? When instance enters into stop state. Correct?
Correct. Agree.
Yeah. So
Yes.
when the instance enters into stop state, it all happens in the background now. So when this instance enters into stop state, that triggers a event. That event triggers your Lambda.
Correct. I agree with that thing. But how Lambda will get to know that the instance has been stopped? Then it will pass from any agent is there, it will pass the information, or from the vice versa, it will read the information and then it will trigger kind of.
No, 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 no. See, this CloudWatch event will let Lambda know that. See, we created
Okay.
a trigger, right? This event, this is a trigger, right? This trigger lets Lambda that,
Okay. Yes.
yeah. So whenever this trigger matches, whenever this trigger is fired, that invokes your Lambda.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, let's try on this one. Stop. It's all happening via CloudWatch actually. Hmm. So can you see that? See that there is a email saying welcome to Lambda. That is what we have written in the Lambda function. But this is not our use case, right? What is our use case? When EC2 instance stops, we want to send an email with instance ID. So, but I'm not sending instance ID here. I'm sending just a dummy message, right? So if you want to add some more email IDs, you can do that actually. You go back to topic again, click subscribe, put the email ID of the, put the new email ID and create a subscription that sends an email to that particular mail ID. That guy needs to confirm it. Once he confirms, it is part of the subscription and that guy also will get notification. So let's come back here. Let us change the code. Let us change the code. Oh, it's taking some time. So right. So where to get the instance ID from? Any guess? we have to get instance ID from this event. So how to get instance ID from this event? If you want to get instance ID from this event, we must understand the structure of this event. To understand the structure of event, I'll do one thing. I will print. See, from this event, I want to access instance ID. So before doing that, I want to know what is the structure of this object. Once we know the structure of this object, and we know how to access details from that object. So for that, I'm just trying to print it, save it, retest it actually. Start. It's running. Let's say stop now. Still stopping. Okay, so let it happen, that's fine. So where to check that output now? So if you want to check that output, we gave some print, right? That we can do from, so I want to open CloudWatch logs for this. Yeah, monitoring. So under monitoring, we can get those details. Just a moment. Cloud. Let's open this. So go to CloudWatch, go to logs. Which is that? This is the one, right? This is the Lambda function. So from this, let us pick up the latest one. So can you see this? This is what we printed there. So this is the event structure. Let's put this in some JSON viewer because it's a JSON structure. Yeah, so this is the object. See, from this object, we want to get instance ID, right? That's our requirement. So from this object, we need to get details. From this details, we need to get instance ID. So come back to the code. Click this guy. Oh, it's loading. Right. Maximize it. Let's maximize it. See, from this event, right, we have details. So from details, we have instance ID. I'm storing that in a variable. Now message equals just I'm passing instance ID here. I'm just checking. Okay, no problems. So save it. Once it is saved, to test it again, start it and stop it. Okay, let's terminate this for now. I mean, delete these things for now. It's running. Stop it. So if you want to put it little meaningful, right, you can do something like this also. Message equals hi team instance with ID has stopped. This is little Python syntax. We'll see those things in the further sessions. Dot format instance ID. What happens, right? So this message becomes something like this: hi team instance with ID, whatever instance ID has stopped. So this I'm setting it as a message, and it will be little meaningful now. So when there is an email, you'll get an email something like this: hi team instance ID with that instance ID has stopped. But fine, it is stopped, right? What's the problem?
Did you save it?
Let's check that also. I don't want this anymore because we got the structure. Okay, I think we didn't save it probably. Even if I didn't save, there should be an email, right? At least email should come, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, let's try this again. Minimize it. It is saved actually. It is saved. Let's also do one thing. Let's see, is there any error? Huh? See. Okay, there is a syntactical error there. Events is not defined. Okay. It is event actually. It's event, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And another thing, I'm thinking that in the message part, uh, you have written ID. It should be instance ID. No?
That's okay. That's just a message, right?
Okay. Yes.
You mean this one, right?
Yes.
That's just a message, so it can be.
Understood.
Yeah, yeah, no problems.
Because it has to read that details, right? That's why I'm thinking like that.
Yeah, yeah. So it's fine. Okay, we should again wait for some time. Okay, guys. So that's all for today. Maybe looks like I was little fast. I don't know. This is just one simple demo, and this is one simple example. Likewise, right? Our main focus will be on Lambda, number one. Number two, how to use this boto3. Why? Because uh, major automation, right, happens with help of Python only. And if you guys know little bit of Python, and if you guys know how to use this boto3 framework, you can do anything part of this automation. Still stopping there. I closely work with some US guys also as a freelancer work. Most of the times the task is related to Lambda, and the task is related to Lambda with Python. That's the reason I thought of creating a course on this. Okay, it's taking too much of time. So guys, one more stuff. I think you guys understood what we're trying to implement part of this course. Number one, this is just a small portion. We also give trainings on AWS. Just yeah, I will do that. So we also do trainings on AWS, Amazon Web Services completely. Would like to just share with you guys what we cover here. So this is our course curriculum. Like we cover sysops administration, architect, DevOps, development, and we also give projects for our students. We are located in Bangalore actually. So I own this Java Home Technologies, and we are doing a lot of trainings on AWS and DevOps. So introduction, this is common anyways. We cover networking part, which is VPC, like route tables, VPC visuals, internet gateways, peering connections, all those stuff. The elastic compute cloud, volumes, ELB, load balancing, auto scaling, so identity and access management, simple services like simple queue, simple email, and this one we use today. So CloudWatch, which is a monitoring tool, and we also use CloudWatch for scheduling events, or we also use CloudWatch for events, like we did one example on that today. So Trusted Advisor, CloudTrail, so databases like RDS, Redshift, DynamoDB, so migrating DB across regions, multi-AZs, read replicas, all those stuff. So Route 53, and this is what we are talking today, right? AWS Lambda, which is serverless architecture, and S3, CloudFront, So Terraform also there. I think very less people cover Terraform part of their AWS course. So in our case, we also cover this Terraform part of the course, which is going to be a deep dive actually. Even before I gave some sessions online like this, those videos are in YouTube. Uh, you guys can check that also. So apart from that, we also cover some DevOps and developer tools, which is code commit, code build, code pipeline, code deploy, even Docker, ECS container service, Beanstalk, and Jenkins integration. This is a course content. We take approximately 40 days to cover this course, and once you're done with this, right, you're kind of ready to work, because all the concepts will be with lots of examples, demos, and some real-time use cases there. So I request you guys, if any of your friends are interested to do course on AWS, please refer my number. And if someone is interested, even please ping me in WhatsApp personally. I'll share these details with you guys. The charges, we are charging 20,000 wiki, not only for AWS. So along with AWS, we also cover DevOps tools like Git with Bitbucket, Maven for build, Jenkins, and Ansible we cover for Dockers, some Linux fundamentals. So along with DevOps tools plus cloud computing, combinedly we charge 20,000. I think again something went wrong. Okay, you're asking about this course. For this course, I'm planning to charge 3,900. This course I'm planning to charge 3,900. Uh, as I said, right, it also covers Python. So duration approximately 15 to 20 hours. 20 hours. If someone is interested, please ping me in the WhatsApp. According to how many guys are interested, and we can plan for a batch and we can complete it. So if you guys have any queries, let me know. I said, right, in this course, Srinath is asking what will you cover in this course. So I'll be covering Lambda details. This is just one example, right? So I'll be talking all the concepts of Lambda. Number one, I'll be talking about Python, like data types, control statements, functions. Plus, I will also help you with how to use boto3 document to implement some Python code in Lambda. So it's going to be Python plus Lambda. These two I'm going to cover part of the course.